So, my Lord, on the first concern, just to give it a small background, it's a concern about our presence in this court. And the background is that we visited Nairobi, Kenya on the 16th of November last year as a normal visit through our airport here, through Jomo Kenyatta International Airport and into our hotel. But shortly thereafter, while at a meeting, we were grabbed by armed men who introduced themselves as Kenyan police, and we were instructed that we were under arrest. We were bundled from the meeting room into a vehicle. And apart from a short stop at a petrol station to fill their tank, the vehicle we were bundled in only stopped in Malaba, where after a short stop on the Uganda border, Uganda-Malaba police, where after a short while another vehicle came and we were put into it and driven straight to Makindye military barracks. So the first background to this is that we were really kidnapped and brought back to Uganda by force and detained in a military barracks. We are not soldiers, where we were held incommunicado for 4 days. So the history to our being here is that illegal rendition and detention in a military facility outside the law. From there, we were produced in the military court martial. A court martial that had been already declared unconstitutional several times by the Constitutional Court. So we were taken to a court that was illegal, and in the knowledge of the state that it was an illegal court. And it is that court that remanded us to Ruzira prison, where we still are. Of course, as everyone knows, the court was later on in January conclusively declared illegal, unconstitutional, and scrapped. We remained in illegal custody after the court had declared, the court that remanded us as unconstitutional, because the remand warrant we were given, which took us to Ruzira, expired. We had expected that following that judgment, if they still wanted to prosecute us, they would take us to a prison, to a police station, and a new process would begin. But we remained in illegal detention until we were charged in Nakawa in February this year. It is the Nakawa court that indicted us. Oh. Yeah, it is the Nakawa court that indicted us on the 29th of May of this year. And I have a copy of the indictment here. I don't know whether it is different from what you have, my lord, or what prosecution has or other people, because my indictment clearly states and this is on the 29th of May, but take notice that you will be tried, and that is the three of us, A1, A2, A3. Take notice that you will be tried on the above indictment at the sessions of the International Crimes Division of the High Court, beholden at so and so. So we were indicted to be tried at the International Crimes Division, which is a division of the High Court that is very different from this one by composition and by its processes, the procedures. So, and the reason I give the background of the illegality that we have faced in the last about 1 year is that we seem to be in another wrong court. And we don't know whether this is part of, again, a process that will just keep us delaying to have this matter disposed of. Second matter, my lord, is that before the summons or the warrant to bring us for beginning this trial, we had appeared before you in a matter of our application for mandatory bail. And arising out of the ruling that you made, which ruling seriously stunned us. Because especially in your ruling, my Lord, you indicated that the court was not aware of matters to do with our earlier charges in the court martial, in the general court martial. There was no record of a charge sheet and the case number. There was no record of the remand that we were detained on. That all that was available to you was the case of Nakawa, and that since the court can't be an investigator to find out what happened before, you made the conclusions that you did. This was very disturbing because not only were all the documents and details of the general court martial process filed together with our application, the very affidavit that we saw, is myself and my colleague and friend here, Ajobeid Lutale, both affidavits indicated how we had been arrested in Nairobi, how we were brought to Kampala, how we were charged in the court martial and remanded. Sections of the affidavit that I am referring to were concurred with, were accepted as truth by the prosecution. You were not contested. But of course, on top of that, our lawyers here in open court made extensive reference to those very documents and to more than even what was filed. So, my Lord, we considered that your treatment of our application either showed we considered that either you are grossly incompetent, if you could not read what was on file before you, or at least biased. To be very serious matters, because we run to court, everybody looks at court as a temple of justice. And so, my Lord, we were compelled to file a complaint against you with the Uganda Judicial Service Commission. And if you have not received a notification of that complaint by the Judicial Service Commission, as they are required to extend it to you, I'm sure you will receive it. And so these two issues tie up. In this case in which we are charged to be in another court, we end up still in your court. In fact, today, my Lord, apart from the intended commencement of a trial, you have set aside today to hear our second bail application today. This was the application we made in April of this year. But my Lord, in your ruling regarding the mandatory bail, you categorically stated that it is my considered view that priority be given to hearing the main case other than bail applications. In other words, you already have a view about bail applications, that they are useless. What is important is to hear the case. You have expressed that view in writing under the court seal. So that you also hear another bail application. Maybe that's why our case also ended up here instead of the court where it was supposed to be, so that you are sure now that the trial has begun and applications for bail are redundant. So in summary, my Lord, one, we seek to understand why we are not in the International Crimes Division, to where we were indicted.
Opposition veteran Dr. Kizza Besigye has made a dramatic and emotional plea before Justice Emmanuel Baguma, requesting that his long-standing political case be transferred to the International Court of Justice, ICJ. Speaking with visible pain and frustration, Besigye accused Uganda's judicial system of bias, political interference, and injustice, saying he no longer has faith in local courts to deliver fairness. His voice trembled as he declared, "How long will I be tried in my own country without justice? If Uganda's courts have become extensions of the regime, then let the world hear my cry." The courtroom reportedly fell silent as Besigye challenged the bench directly, urging Judge Baguma to choose justice over fear. He urged that his repeated arrests and politically motivated charges over the years have been designed to silence dissent and cripple the opposition's fight for democracy. Besigye supporters outside the courthouse chanted, "Freedom for Besigye," while police maintained tight security. His request to escalate the case to the ICJ has sparked fresh debate across Uganda's political scene, with critics saying it is symbolic but others hailing it as a bold stand against judicial capture. As tensions rise, all eyes are now on the Ugandan judicial next move. Will they allow the case to proceed internationally or tighten the lid on one of the country's most fearless opposition figures? Stay tuned for updates. This is Pihoa Network, bringing you the truth beyond headlines.